A second question from Raphael is, after you find the most efficient or desired setting on one of the tables, either fuel or ignition, would that desired spot get affected by editing the other table? So e.g., I get the desired air-fuel ratio, then I go and tweak the ignition timing. Would the fuel table now have different results and need to be tweaked again? Real common question you've got there, Raphael, so let me answer that. So first of all, there can be some interaction. What I mean by this is, depending on our air-fuel ratio, this will affect the combustion temperature. Remember, one of the reasons that we use a richer air-fuel ratio is to cool and control the combustion chamber temperature. Now, if we're tuning an engine that is very sensitive to knock or very prone to knock, we can find that by richening the air-fuel ratio, this will allow us to then use a little bit more ignition timing. So there is an interaction that way. As we richen the air-fuel ratio, we may find that we can then in turn go back and adjust our ignition timing. The more common question or misconception that I hear though is that our ignition timing will affect our air-fuel ratio. Now that's simply not the case. Now if we consider for a moment we are running a port injected engine, then the air-fuel ratio, remember, is simply the ratio between the air and the fuel making its way into the cylinders. Now that air-fuel ratio is fixed at the point where the intake valves close. Now remembering here we're talking about a port injected engine just for simplicity. So once the intake valve is closed, no more air and no more fuel can be added. Now depending on our cam timing, our valve timing events and also our ignition timing events, the point where the intake valve closes is going to be a long way ahead of where the ignition timing event occurs. So hopefully you can understand that really, regardless what we do with our ignition timing, it won't affect the actual air-fuel ratio. We can get ourselves into a situation though, if our ignition timing is very, very advanced or very, very retarded, it is possible that we may end up with an ignition misfire, but that's a separate conversation for a separate day.
That question was taken from one of our free live lessons. If you like free stuff and you're the type of guy who wants to expand your knowledge, click the link in the description to claim your free spot to our next live lesson. You'll learn about performance engine building and EFI tuning, and you'll also have the chance to ask your own questions, which I'll be answering live. Remember, it's 100% free, so follow the link to claim your spot.